Hi guys, welcome to Java Express channel. Today we are going to discuss what is a final keyword. Okay, before discussing about interface, you need to have some idea on what is a final keyword, where you can apply. Okay, we'll discuss in today's session. Okay, so let me open my workspace. Yes, now let me create a notepad file here. Okay, now let me write here what is. Okay, we are going to discuss today as a final keywords. Very important, guys. Each and every question in interview you may get questions. Maybe in one interview you may not get all the questions. Maybe if you are attending 2 to 3 interviews, you will see these type of questions. So commonly they will be asked for the freshers. Okay, now see here, first point, guys. Final is a basically it is a keyword, and why we need it is a keyword is used to restrict the user. Okay, to restrict the user, how we can restrict means we'll discuss soon. Also we can restrict the user, and we can apply for, okay, we can apply for number one. Okay, we can apply for the variables. This keyword you can apply for the variables, and number two you can apply for the methods, and number three you can apply for the classes. So this keyword is used to restrict the user, and we can apply for these variables, methods and classes. Okay, yeah, suppose if you apply this final keyword for the variables, okay, exactly what does it mean, why we need, see, if, okay, final variables, you know how to declare a variable, right? If you, okay, if you add final is a keyword for the variables, okay, final variables must be initialized. Final variables must be initialized at the time of declaration. Suppose once you are initialized, then these variables, I can say final variables cannot be assigned, assigned. I can say that final variables cannot be assigned a new value. This is the meaning, guys. Suppose you are declaring a variable. See, guys, some example I'm explaining to you. See here. Suppose int a equals to 10. You define a variable. If you are trying to modify a equal to 20, okay, if you are trying to print a variable, obviously you can change. But if you append a final here, see, final variables must be initialized at the time of declaration. So this is nothing but a declaration. Once you initialized, these variables cannot be assigned with a new value. So in this use case, it will be a invalid. So this is the meaning of the variables. And we have still these final, if you apply for the methods. Okay, now one scenario for the variables, right? Another scenario, final methods cannot be inherited, in Java. In superclass, if you define any method as the final, okay, you cannot inherit it in the Java. Okay, same method you cannot use as it is. Why? Because that is the method is declared, so you cannot inherit in your subclass. And number four, okay, class, you can apply this final keyword for the classes. If you define, then final classes cannot be extended in Java. Nothing but this final you can apply for the immutable classes. In the immutability, whenever you are creating, you can define variables as a final and class as a final. So you can apply these restrictions. Okay, it's very simple definition. Now just have a look here through programmatic approach. Now let me open our workspace. Okay, here let me create a package for you guys, so that it will be a more, okay, all code that whenever you are learning a new topic, try to create a package. Next time if you refer, it will be a more easy based on the concept. Okay, now here let me apply here final keyword. Okay, if use as a final, see what is trying to say, invalid package name. Why? Because final has a special meaning in the Java library. So predefined keywords you should not use as a variable names or class names or package names. So that's why to make it, let me use as a final keyword. Okay, hope you are clear now. Okay, it is a creating some package here. Just you can remove this particular one. Just delete this part. It's not required. Okay, here see guys, I am creating a class. Just have a look. I am creating HDFC. Okay, just I am creating one HDFC class, guys. Just have a look here. Now let me write the main method. Just let me show you some couple of variables. Int a equals to 10. Okay, now if you are modifying a equal to 20, now see, now if you try to print this variable, obviously you will get the value. Okay, modified value you will get it. Now just see a equal to 20. Suppose if you define this variable as a final, now just have a look here. Now you are getting an exception. See, final local variable a cannot be assigned. It must be a blank and not using a compound assignment. That means you are trying to modify the variable, so you are getting exception. So you should be uncomment. Now this is the nothing but a final keyword. And also one more point I need to highlight. Okay, it is used to create constant variables. It is used to create constant variables. Okay, final keyword is basically to create a constant variable. How to create means, if you say constant variable, have a look here, public. Okay, static also you need to apply. For the mostly if you see constant variables, static and final, combination of these two, okay, access modifiers you will have, static and final. Just okay, whenever you are declaring final variables, always should be in the capital case letters. Let me write rate of interest equal to some 7. Now always you should be right. Okay, this is which variable? Integer variable. That's it. Constant variables maximum you should be right probably always in the capital case letters. Now rate of interest is equal to 7. If you want to access this variable, now have a look here. You need to create a object, HDFC obj equals to new. Okay, this is a static variable, directly you can access, right? Rate of interest equal to, assume that 5. Now just have a look here. It's a cannot be assigned. So final you can apply for the local variables and as well as instance variables also. So this is the concept of the final keyword with respect to the variables. Now have a look here. I am creating as another class. Let me explain for the bank. I'm creating a class bank. Okay, here let me write a method, public void SMS notification. Just I written one method here, system.out.println. Okay, SMS notification method. Just I written here. Now if you extend this class for the bank, can we override or not in the subclass? See, I can able to override this method, no issues. This is nothing but a method overriding. If by mistake this method, if you define as a final, then you cannot override. See here, cannot override final method from the bank class. This is the second scenario, guys. Variables just now I explained, and the final methods cannot be inherited in Java. This is one part. Okay, let me remove this final keyword. Now if you define your class as a final class, see here, before the class let me apply the final keyword. Now if you are trying to extend, see here, HDFC cannot subclass the final class. Final classes always it will be a immutable. You cannot, okay, you cannot create, I can say you cannot assign any modifications, you cannot perform. It's kind of a immutable, all final classes. I can say all your wrapper classes, integer, double, all your wrapper classes are final classes. So this is about a third scenario, guys. So this is all about the final keyword, guys. Okay, hope you like the session. Okay, if you like the session, please click. Okay, please subscribe our channel, and just you can provide your feedback, guys. Okay, thank you, guys. We'll catch up in the next session.